The most important question I got was, what is your legacy? Not a material legacy, but if life stops now, how do you want to be remembered? What is your frequency legacy? The Phoenix Frequency podcasts are results from that question. When all seemed burnt in your life, the fertile ash of a phoenix is filled with compassion, love, forgiveness, empowerment, intuition, wisdom, generosity, creativity, resilience, a balance of an evolution and involution, what is needed to rise. I am Nienke van Bezooyen and I live my Phoenix frequencies. On a weekly basis, I share my insights, my resources, and I have guests who Phoenix themselves. If it resonates to you, you're welcome to rise. Welcome to the Phoenix Frequencies. In this podcast, I want to start with a question. If you look how you fill your days, how you fill your life, are you adding life to your days or days to your life? I have a great example from my gran, who nearly became 99 years old. She started to live her own life after 70 years of marriage. At the age of 90, she had to figure out life by herself. And she said to me, I have no broad shoulders to shelter behind, so let's figure it out myself. So she moved to a new town and she figured out her life herself. And I was adding life to her days, although I didn't know that quote at that time. Although she became older and her physical body didn't function as she probably desired, she stayed active, she stayed curious. She could bring her knees up to her ears if she wanted, to a big surprise of my son at that time. She was active in having real interest in other people, reading the newspaper, reading books, but she stopped the ticking of the clock. She stopped watching television. She said, I've seen it all. A new war, I've seen it all before. Refugees again, I've been one myself. So she looked what she wanted to do in her days, what made her feel happy, although the last 2 years she stayed in bed because she couldn't go out that much anymore. When one of the other people in her elderly care home died, she dressed herself. She went outside to pay respect when the coffin was carried out of the house, because that's what she wanted to do. And maybe it was, so to quote, too much, but she did it because she wanted. In the last days before her final transitioning, she couldn't stop talking. The last 10 days, she kept on talking, because she wanted to add so much to other people's lives still while she was still with us. For every single beloved one, she had a personal word, something that they could carry on in their life. I thought it was awesome. She had such a desire to give meaning to her life, and she had humor. When the body gives up, you can deliberately choose your blessing you like, that supports you in adding life to your days. In my radiotherapy time, in COVID time, I added life by finding joy in the sprouting leaves and the birds and watching clouds from my bed. I found peace in my heartbeat and breathing, just like that. That was adding life to my days. After the radiotherapy, I really searched how I could build up my life. And I realize now I was doing that from the perspective of the past. I thought I could continue like I did before, and that wasn't the case. So when I crashed 18 months later, and it was so close to death, for me, the hardest thing was finding that peace again, adding life when life looked like added days, finding purpose and meaning again, accepting life chose to be with me differently. I had to build up from scratch to figure out how to live fully again from the Phoenix frequencies. And four areas I had to be with and to look at was, how do I do that physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually? So tapping into the physical area is probably the area I've known the best before. I could just start to walk and practice in. That was the most familiar area to go to. Mentally, I had, and I shared before, my mentors and friends who really helped me to form and shape that area too. Socially was the hardest, because if you crash and the judgments are around the corner, I found it really hard to be in a social environment, to feel safe again, to have a freedom to share. I had to rebuild a new trusted area. And trusting is an internal process. It's not what someone else can do. It's up to me if I trust someone or I don't. And trust, what I faced a lot, was built on past stories, not so much what was in the current situation occurring to me. The question in the social environment would have helped me, instead of asking, oh, well, just ask if you need anything, being reframed at, shall we look together what you need? Because I didn't feel the strength to reach out for help. I was just refining myself, refining myself. And socially, I had to build up a relationship with myself first before I could expand the rest of the world. Know thyself first. So, what I wanted to do in life shifted as well. So, it's way less ambitious drive, but service based, and find a new place where I can come from my new frequencies, where I feel that I can express myself freely without performance, without proving myself, without trying to be the old me again. And it isn't an easy process, reinventing yourself based on an other set of values and skills I used before. That's not a bad thing. It's just how it happens. And I realized just going through that process of reinventing who I am in a Phoenix way was an area where I had to let go of feeling ashamed that I crashed, feeling ashamed that I'm not the same as I was. And now, 2 years later, I can come from a place where I celebrate a new frequency, where I celebrate who I am now, and where I love to support others in their physical, mental, social, spiritual area of becoming who you really can be in a sustainable way. Letting go of pleasing, letting go of othering, letting go of taking on too much responsibility and change that into responsibility. Being playful, flexible, and playful in a way that is adding life to your days. You never know how long your life is going to be. So being playful from your heart will definitely add life to your days. And from that, you can be a source of inspiration. Like my gran Emma is always a source of inspiration, even till this day, because she continued sharing interest. She had a heart-based curiosity in life, in others, and she enjoyed life, even when she let the clock stop ticking. She had the courage to add life to her days until she was nearly 99 years old. How about you? Are you waiting for days? Or do you dare to shift and rise? Rise based on your Phoenix frequencies. And from that, adding life to other people's days as well, just because you can. Enjoy.